Welcome back to the City Buzz. Today we have on here DJ and podcaster Kev Nichols. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, please tell me how you got started with DJing.
So first off, thanks for having me on. I know it's your first one back, right?
Yes,
so I appreciate you asking me to come back after this long Eagles weekend. So I started DJing when I was 16. So my cousin Eric, he's been DJing for years, been doing all of our family parties, been doing all of our stuff. So like, I always saw him playing. I was never like really interested in DJing. I never something I really thought of. But then he asked me, like, he's like, yo, Kev, like, cause I played basketball in high school, right? So basketball was like my entire life. So I played basketball. Wasn't really able to work because I was always at practice. And I'm like, my weekends were the only things that were open. So I was like, yo, Kev, you should try DJing. You know, I'll get you some old equipment. He gave me like his old speakers and an old mixer and like kind of like gave me that. And then I had my first event for this girl on my sister's basketball team. And it was like her Sweet 16 party. I'm like, all right, sweet, I can get started. I just how I can get in. I have a picture that I'll show you after my mom, when she drove me to my first gig. Like, it was like on that type. And so I did that party, and it was the worst experience I've ever had DJing. Like this is like when the 1,000 hours thing is so real.
Yeah.
So I went, I set up one. All the music I had was with what my cousin Eric gave me. It was all his old music, like the oldies. And I'm like, I didn't have a lot of new music. So I go to this party, and it's like all these kids, you want like rap, hip hop, all that stuff, which is to be expected. And obviously I wasn't ready. I was 16. I wasn't ready for it.
What were you playing on at that time?
I couldn't, dude. I was literally, it was like the mixer was so old that like it wasn't like a turntable. I DJ off my laptop. Like I DJed off my laptop for like years. Like, so and then my aux cable was like broken, so I had to hold it a certain way so the music didn't crack out. I had all these kids come up asking me for like songs on SoundCloud and all this stuff, and I'm like, this is a disaster. And the worst part is I didn't get paid because the person whose birthday was like act like that they didn't have enough money to pay me, and I'm like, it's only like $100.
Yeah.
Like, so I remember that was my initial experience DJing, and then I was kind of like doing it on and off throughout high school and college. Because like I said, I was obviously doing school. I wasn't really taking it seriously. And then out of college, I started DJing at this local spot like called Patty Wax. I did like Fridays and Sundays.
What Patty Wax?
Welsh.
I don't
on the Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did that. And it wasn't like I said, super consistent. And then after college, like I said, I did like their Fridays and Sundays, and then took the leap. So for 3 years, I've been full time now for 3 years, but it's been like an on and off thing. And then I didn't really start taking it serious until like 3 years ago.
Listen, and in the last 3 years, you have been doing amazing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was looking at all your stuff, all the places that you've been. Like,
yeah.
I mean, when you're young, you don't really know what you want to do, right? And your heart, like, literally, like, brought you back to this, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, music is a universal language. Everyone loves it, and it makes people feel good.
Yeah.
It seems like you're an empath.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
So am I. Like, I can feel that energy from you. And when you're doing things with music and you see people dancing, having a good time, like, that just drives us through the roof.
The best.
It's like you're high on life without even doing anything.
Yeah, you feel like you're not even, it's not like, you feel like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm like, this is my job. I get to do this for a living. I think that's why, like, I excel, because I love it. Like, I'm someone, like, if I don't love something, I'm not going to be good at it.
Same way.
The amount of jobs I've had where, like, I've had to do, like, minimal work and just haven't been able to do it. Like, I did social media for, like, an asphalt company in Bensalem. I worked for, like, a nonprofit doing their social media, and, like, all these things that, like, you know, obviously, like you said, the journey, like, you're trying to figure yourself out. Like, even in college, I always knew I liked the party. I loved that environment. I love creating that. I've always been the aux guy, right? So, like, at my temple parties, I'd always been the aux. I love creating the environment. We would all party in my basement, the whole nine. But I had all these jobs in between that, like, I just didn't love. Like, I've done literally everything. I made $30 a day working at my aunt's, food spot at the Reading Terminal, and then like, paying half of that to take the step back to college. So, like, I always did different things, and it's something that you're right that I always came back to. And I told myself 3 years ago that, like, it was now or never. Like, I had DJ Nine on my podcast like years ago, and I asked him, like, because obviously I had him on because he was crushing it. He does stuff with Pauly D, and I wasn't even like DJing on a mixer yet, as crazy as it sounds. I was still on a laptop. Like I was super like, and I was like, yo, like how do I get into like the city, or how do I expand myself as a DJ? Like first off, you have to decide if you really want to do it. And in that moment, I said, you know what, I'm going to make the investment. I bought my first mixer. I did my first wedding with the mixer, and my boys were with me, and like I had no idea how to use it, but like the wedding was super unserious, so it didn't matter. It was like a South Philly up at banquet hall room where they just wanted to party. And so from there, like I said, I kind of like started to take it seriously and tried the network. And like I used to like Steam Pub as a spot in Southampton that I play at, and before like they really started booking DJs there, I showed up every Friday with my friends, and I really wanted to play there. And I showed up every single Friday. I made my own flyer. I was like, yo, I'm ready when you are. I sent them the flyer. The flyer was horrible. It was awful. But
you got to start somewhere.
I pushed and I pushed and I pushed and eventually got an opportunity. And then obviously when preparation meets opportunity, it's, so I end up, it's something I found that I really love. And like, I wake up every single day extremely grateful for like everything. And that's what honestly is like, it keeps me like together, is like looking at like the journey. Like the journey is, to me, has been like the best part of just like the good, the bad, all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exact. This business is a really hard business. I mean, I've been in it since I was 13, and there's a lot of highs and lows. But it seems like you're really on a high note, and it's just going to keep on. You're riding that wave, and you have to keep on going with it. I keep seeing stuff about Club 215. Tell me about it.
So Club 215 is a brand that I started 2 years ago at this point.
I have to tell you, when I told Quiggs, I said, Club 215, I want to go to the club. He went, it's not a club.
They're actually,
what?
So it's funny. There is a Club 215. It used to be like a strip club or something. I forget. Someone told me or whatever. It used to be something. But no, I started it 2 years ago because my goal was to start doing tailgates, and like, because I wanted to find my thing, right? I think like in the industry, it's like you rely on people to book you and things like that, and which is amazing. Obviously, all these venues, like they have different procedures of getting like booked, right, to be consistent. And like the one thing I told myself is that like you have to create your own lane, and it's like obviously it's gonna be like in the beginning, it's all gonna be polarizing because it's like, oh, what's his kid trying to do, right? So like I started, so me and Dumphy, and someone else, but they dropped out day one. So, but they, so me and Dumphy, the guy with the Eagles tattoos on his stomach, I DJ'd his 30th birthday, and his wife hit me up. I DJ'd his 30th birthday.
Wait, the guy with like all those tattoos?
Yeah.
That was literally in my paper. I saw him on your podcast.
Yeah. So I did his 30th birthday. I asked him to come on the podcast. And he kind of hit me up. He kind of was like, yo, like, I told him I wanted to start a tailgate this year. I always did tailgates, but they were just like white table, mixer, very traditional. I had a bus of like 30, 40 people will come. Like I did like that whole route. But I was like, I kind of want to take it serious this year and like put a real name behind it. And so we were like brainstorming names, and I'm thinking like Wiz without like stupid. We were coming up with stupid names. So I ended up building a relationship with him, had him on the podcast, and we kind of like, we're like, all right, let's do this. Let's try it. So ended up like in a group text kind of figuring out names, and he said, what about Club 215? And I was like, nah. And then I sat on it. I'm like, you know what? All right. So I was like, yo, should I just go on Fiverr and get a logo made? He's like, no, I want you to make it. And I was like, true. Okay. Cause I'm just like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So I ended up making it in Photoshop, got all these different assets and like put them all together, and ended up becoming the logo. And he was like, yo, that's sick. And then from there,
doesn't it feel good that you did it yourself?
Yeah, it's
rewarding.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the hardest journey, but it's like super rewarding. And that's, like I said, that's what genuinely keeps me grounded. Like, is that I know where I started, and I always try to put myself in that position. Though Brian Dawkins told me that, so that's why I always try to like remain
humble.
The kid who I was when I was 16, not even knowing how to do anything, or when I, even 3 years ago when I first started, like I didn't know what the journey was going to be. So, so I started, and I made all the flyers. I made all the marketing. I said I have to, like my friend Kid Travis, who I did music with, like he's an absolute superstar, is killing it. But he taught me to be self-sustainable. So like anything that you want to do, try to teach yourself how to do it first. Just so that way you know how to do it. You don't have to rely on anyone for timing or anything like that. And like, but it's also great to have a team. Like for the like obviously here you have a great setup. You have an amazing group of people helping you. Shout out Quiggs and Punzo. But
thank God for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's So like, kind of getting back to the Club 215 thing. So we're gonna the first tailgate we're gonna do was the glow party, right? I was like, we're gonna do a glow party. I'm gonna buy all these LED foam sticks. We're gonna do this whole thing, and we partnered with this company called Boombox, and they had like this big trailer. So we kind of
How do you partner with a company?
I mean, pretty much just like, listen, like this is what we're gonna do this year. We'll love you to be a part of it. We can give you a set rate. We'll give you a first number because they're trying it out as well. So we kind of agreed that like, all right, this is what's gonna happen. Because I had a vision, and I was like, dude, like I know I'm gonna like this is what I'm doing, and like I don't care if you do it with me or not, I'm gonna do it. So I went and like spent all this money on like banners, backdrops, merchandise, everything, and then we started. So we did the first tailgate, and it was awesome. I hired a photographer for every tailgate, so we always had pictures. I was like, we're gonna do recap posts. Me and Dunphy were gonna collab on them.
You need to, because that's work. That's people rely on that.
Yeah, collaboration's everything. So, and I had a great support system of people coming out and supporting. So, like, kind of like, it really just helped the whole experience. So we did the first one. And I'm like, all right, let's get some guest DJs here. So we started inviting guest DJs. We had like Nick Spinelli. We've had, you know, like Jason Weiss. We've had on like all these different people, right? So the goal every year was to just keep collaborating and keep doing these tailgates and throwing these parties. So I would like would buy all this stuff to kind of make it right. And then we did our second tailgate. And then it was the Washington Commanders game, I think. And then we ended up not getting a grass spot. So that was part of the issue, too, is that to do these tailgates in G-Lot, you have to be there at like 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah. So we would camp out, and we would make sure that we were able to get our spot. Like, every single tailgate was a fight. Like, so then we did that tailgate, but we didn't get on the grass in time because there's like this guy who decides like 3 tailgates a year will decide to take up the entire grass. We'll get into that. It was cutthroat for sure. Yeah. And so we ended up having to do it on like the street. Ended up being like one of our best tailgates. That's when Malik Joe started coming by. I didn't really know him at the time yet. And we had the Angelique and Becca, who were the girls on the fly, who they were. So they came to the tailgate not knowing who I was.
The one girl kicks like really good.
Angelique does the field goals, yeah. So Angie's still a part of it. Becca is like with doing her lawyer stuff. She's kind of like, you know, she's doing her thing. Yeah. So they DM me after like, hey, like you should start doing like some TikTok stuff. I'm like, yeah, I got time to do TikTok. I got a DJ. I got to make sure everything's going well. So then they're like, I was like, why don't you guys do it? So they started doing interviews. So we started incorporating interviews. I would DJ. I would have a guest DJ. We had Dunphy there. We had Malik there. So we had like a really solid group of people. And then from there, like the interviews started crushing it. Like they would we would have interviews. We had recap posts. Like everyone had their thing, and it started really doing really well. And then Anne started doing her field goals, and that's when like that took off on a whole other.
That's amazing.
She's on her own path. I'm so happy and proud of her. But yeah. So kept doing our tailgates, kept doing our thing. It started getting some traction. I'm like, all right, let's keep doing these events. So I'll keep marketing it. I would keep doing it on Posh VIP links. So I would send out these links to people. We ended up getting like 1,500 emails. We get all these RSVPs, free. Everything was free. I never charged anyone anything.
Yeah.
So we had the Dallas game coming up, and this is when the Conor McGregor got involved with everything. So we started doing. We had the Dallas tailgate. I bought Dallas tickets. This is all out of my own pocket. So it's all. It's like a huge risk.
Yes.
So I was paying Boombox, I was paying photographers, I was buying merch. I was with every scrap that I could get from my DJ gigs, I was putting it into that.
Yeah.
So then I bought these tickets for the Dallas game, and I was like, we're gonna do a Dallas giveaway. That was my whole thing too, is I bought tickets to every game and I gave away tickets every game. Didn't ask anyone for anything but a follow. Like I'm like, that's how you're gonna build your base, right? So we go and get ready for the Dallas tailgate. Malik and Dunphy got invited to this Forged Irish Stout initial Philly launch party. Forge reached out to me and asked me to DJ. So I'm like, all right, sweet, I'll do it. So we go there, and I meet the Conor's right-hand man, right? He's literally Irish, most Irish dude ever, crazy accent, all that. So the whole Irish team was there. And I was talking about like Club 215, and he was like, "Oh, what's Club 215?" I'm like, "It's this tailgate we've been doing. You know, we've been like really crushing." I would show him the pictures that we had, and I built like a whole, I forget the word, but like for lack of better terms, a press kit. So it'd be like, "This is our mission statement. These are our pictures. These are our goals. This is what we're doing. These are the numbers we've done." So I sold him all night. I said, "All right, Kev, how about this?" He's like, "Since we're new and we're launching in Philly, we're gonna cover your cost of your Dallas tickets, and we're gonna give you the X amount of money." It was a good amount of money every tailgate, and we'll come and set up and we'll give out free beer. And I'm like, this is sick.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. I'm acting.
How great did you feel at that point?
It was, trust me, it gets better. So we do, so we get ready. And this is like even like right after the Dawkins interview. So like I did episode 100, then we're getting ready for Dallas Tailgate. And then
how did you find time for all this? Like, oh my God.
You just got to make time. Man. That's what happens. You're a full-time DJ. You got to make it work, right? So, so we, so then we do the video here. We filmed the video outside of here. And Doug, who runs Forge, was like, hey, we'll give you Conor's belt. We'll give you some signed merch to give away. And then also on top of it, Conor collabed on the giveaway video. So it got like 3 million views, 20,000 likes for Dallas. It was our biggest giveaway we've ever done. And I'm like, so I post it and I send Conor the collab and he accepts it. He follows all of us on Instagram. Like, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is nuts. So like, so we started, and I got connected with the guy Trevor, who runs all US marketing. Like we became like very, very good friends throughout this whole journey, because leading up to the Dallas Tailgate, we had the Armatani brothers. They're very good friends of mine. So they asked the DJ, and I was like, all right, let's do it. So we're getting ready for this Dallas Tailgate. The giveaway was awesome. We get to the grass, and the same guy who took the spots in Washington is trying to take my spot for the Dallas Tailgate.
Nope.
And I'm like, I think this is what I got Forge's respect. Is I was like, bro, you're giving us this spot. He's like, bro, we're gonna do a bigger tailgate deal. I'm like, on God, I will let you. I promise you, you will not have a bigger tailgate. And that's where my ego started to really come in. I'm a pretty chill empath guy, but when you try to take my shit and like, so we have this tailgate. Forge is set up. We have a portable bar. We have all this stuff. So I had all these pieces coming in. I had a portable bathroom. Like I went balls to the wall. We had all these sponsors. So then we're set up. We're doing our thing. It was the best tailgate we've ever had. It was Malik's on the team at this point. I'm putting Malik Joe on the team. So it was nuts. So we get there and Armatines are crushing. We have like the biggest, best tailgate that ever. It was my favorite tailgate we've ever done. Like it was.
I've never been to a tailgate.
Really?
Yes.
And you know what? So we'll have to get you out next year if we end up bringing them back next year. So
that's a sin. I'm from Philly. Never been to a tailgate. So that's a problem.
So my favorite.
I've been to a Philly tailgate, but like an Eagles tailgate. Is like a different.
It's level. A whole different planet. Yeah. So the lock guys have gotten really strict over this past year. So we'll get into that. But my favorite part about this whole tailgate kind of makes me like emotional thinking about it. So it was like my mom and dad walk up and they're hanging out this tailgate, and like I get it, we take a picture with the Club 215 hoodie on. She sees all this stuff. I'm like, she gets to see all the work that I put in. Yeah, and because I remember like they were telling me like they're like Kev, you need to get a real job. And I was like, I'll show you. I'll get a real job. So, but they're the best supportive parents ever. But they just obviously didn't see.
At that point, it's like they see you putting out all this money and stuff like that, and like to finally see it all come together, they're probably like, wow, like
that's my favorite moment about all of this whole journey that I've been on, is that like seeing my parents be able to be proud of me, and like, you know, having family over to watch the Dawkins episode and like stuff like that, because you put all that hard work, because the podcast is called The Loft, and we started it in my parents' loft.
I was actually going to say, how did you come up with the name The Loft?
Because my parents loft. Yeah, we started it. It was me and my buddy Nick. We started it together. We're like, I didn't even know what a podcast was. And
how did you get started with the podcast?
Yeah, so we're kind of started with jumping around, but we'll get back. Well, it all makes sense soon.
It all makes sense. It all comes together. It's your life story.
Yeah, so I started it during COVID, like 2020, and I lost all my gigs, lost all my jobs, had so much time on my hands. And he was like, yo, why don't we, randomly, he was like, yo, why don't we like start a podcast? I'm like, what? He's like, bro, let's grab 2 microphones, you set up a camera, and we'll just film in your loft. And I was like, all right. And then I was like, what should we call it? And I was like, I mean, we're in the loft. Might as well just do the loft. It. So I made the logo. We had the TV in the corner with the logo on it. And me and him talked for 2 hours. Got like, it was like 2,000 views, the first episode on YouTube, which is like nuts for a YouTube video. So I'm like, okay. Like, because people were really interested. Like, yo, what does Kev and Nick have to say? And it turned into like just having all these different people on and building all these connections along the way. And yeah, just being something that like, you know, people can take with them when they watch it. And like, this is another moment that like peak moment, I think, for me, is when this lady, said to my mom, who lost her son to an overdose, like a year before that on Christmas, was like, I watched your son's podcast to fall asleep. And I was like, wow. I was like, I'm busting my ass doing this stuff, and like, but you were able to take something from it. Like that's what makes it all real.
It does.
You know what I mean? So, So I've been doing that podcast, and like it's been like therapy. Like I loved it. I love to do it. I'm sure you love Buzz City. Like it's like something you love to do, and that kind of led into me starting the whole DJ career, making it my full time, and then the Club 215 stuff, and then after the Dallas tailgate, getting back to that, after that tailgate, everything kind of like really took a turn like for the best, and like it just really started like growing, and then then this was like another peak moment, like just on a human level, was like, so I bought tickets for the Christmas game, right? Last season was a Christmas game, and we were gonna do a tailgate, but we had issues with the lot, so we pretty much weren't allowed on the lot, so we weren't able to do the tailgate. But I did a ticket giveaway, and it was around Christmas time, so we had the winner was this guy Eric and his wife and their daughter, who loves the Eagles, and Eric's been coming to the tailgates the whole year. And then so I was like, all right, cool. So like I gave her the ticket. He's like, dude, this is gonna be a best Christmas gift ever. I'm like, okay, film it, the reaction. I eat that stuff up. I would always ask my little cousins, like, yo, I want to see them open gifts. I love it. Like,
when I watch things like that, I like tear up.
Oh my God,
it's a problem.
It kills me. No, it's not a problem at all. It's healing.
I watch videos online of people like being happy, and I tear up. I'm like, wow, I'm so emotional. That's the empath.
It's empath. It is. I'm such a softie. I really am.
So for your Loft podcast, who were some of the guests on there that like really stuck out to you that you were proud to have on the show?
Yeah. I started off with just me and my boy Nick. And he like co-hosted with me for a while until he moved to Carolina. I focused a lot on, in the beginning, especially like stories. Like I had this girl, who she's like a suicide advocate, like suicide awareness advocate. She had this story where she like tried taking her life, jumped in front of a train, like when she was younger, and now she's in a wheelchair. So I had her on as the third episode. I had her on. And we talked about her story, and because my whole thing with the Loft is like just being able to encouraging the conversation on anything that we're talking about, and also creating substance that someone can watch or listen and be like, yo, like actually that means a lot, like, which has been the general consensus around the podcast, which has been great. So I had one of my friends on who was struggling with like he wanted to better himself, so we had him on and we kind of got into a deep conversation. And just and the people like that, and then I had I was really focused on addiction for a while, and like because my uncle struggles with that, so that's something I really wanted to hit home. I wanted him to see it, like him see that I'm trying to like help him without actively doing anything hands on. So then I had this woman Meg Cohen on, who runs the Grace Project, and that's when I got involved with the Grace Project, the nonprofit.
What is that?
So Meg was in recovery in Kensington. She got clean.
I saw a video. You were in Kensington doing stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So I did a lot with her, obviously, since like I haven't had much time recently. But we had a great relationship. And then I had like Brandon Novak, the guy from Jackass. Then I've had the guy who played Big Mike from The Blind Side. I had him on, which is cool. We did it over Zoom. And then it started like having like athletes on, like Chris Dawkins, or like I'd have like people that I know on, like friends.
There's a girl, Carly, who was on our podcast, who was on yours.
Carly Folia?
Yeah,
she's the best. I had her on. And I just had a lot of people that I was inspired by in some way. Like I said, they're all different. And then I had Malik on. I had Dunphy on. I had my sister on. People like that, and I just try to make it as I never really, obviously I knew who the person was, obviously, but like, I didn't really prep that much, only because I wanted to be more like conversation, like kind of what we're having right now. Yeah. So I laid it out that way. And then I just kept doing that. I'm on like episode 120 something now.
Wow.
I took a bit of a break though. It's been like a 5-year journey. I've been like really just like consistent and then not consistent, and then but like
it's very hard.
And I've been great with being consistent. It's just sometimes obviously life kind of gets in the way. So
and you're doing so many other things.
Yeah, so I'm trying to give myself a bit of grace on that. But the podcast is something I always came back to because it's something that like heals me. Actively. I always feel better after talking to somebody, like no matter what.
Yeah.
So then like it's getting close to episode 100, right? And I had this guy Jordan Spector on. He like does a card art, does a most talented artist I know. So this is leading up to episode 100. So we've been doing all these episodes for years. A lot of people that I know, athletes, people I've reached out to. I've went to places to film. I've tried to do the whole nine, just like kind of network, build relationships, and like, you know, doing it in a way where like it's just us two talking and, you know, whatever. So giving each other our time. So Jordan goes, yo, Kev, so Dawkins is flying in for this athletes for like the Eagles weekend or whatever at Xfinity. And I'm dropping my first debut card, like trading card of Dawkins. So he was like, can you come help me film? Like, we'll go meet him. So like leading up to it, I linked up with him and Jordan at like a random like hotel that he's staying at. We would show him the concept art of the cards and all that. So I was able to see a whole process of this trading card. And then at the end, Jordan's like, yo, I really want to like market this and promote this. Do you want to do a podcast with Dawkins? And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, let me think about it. I was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah. So this was like months leading up. So I tried to time it where I can make it the 100th episode. So like I had all these episodes like filmed and backed up, and I'm like, guys, I can't put it out. Like, when are you putting it out? I'm like, I gotta wait. I can't tell you why, but I'm waiting. So then, so it's like a few months before, and we're meeting up, we're doing all these things, and then we eventually set up a date. So we filmed at Xfinity Live in the private VIP room. Shout out to Jay Roy if he's watching this, but he like runs entertainment. So he gave me the room, and yeah, so Dawkins came in and did the podcast, and like we filmed this whole podcast. I had all my friends in the room, were helping with like the lights or the cameras, and then like I had a third camera, and then I had my friend Kayla, who's a photographer for weddings and stuff. She came and she shot it, so like I had all this stuff, and like so I was able to announce that I'm having Dawkins on for the 100th episode, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because no one expected that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I told my mom. They're like, no way. Like, no way. I'm like, yeah, like I had like the text are here, prove it. So then like Dawkins came, met his manager, and we did the 100th episode, and it was like so surreal. Like we got done filming it, whatever. I gave Dawkins like a custom shirt. I made a logo and I gave him the shirt as like a gift for coming on. And then yeah, we had it. I made sure the footage was there, made sure it was good, packed up the car. Went in my car, sat there, and I was like, dude, I just fucking...
Yeah.
It was so crazy, because, like, you remember where you start, right? Like, always remember where you start. And that's why I always try to, like, remember how I started, where I was. And then, yeah, so we filmed the episode. I edited it. It was done. I made a flyer with all of us on it. We announced it. Episode dropped, and it was like...
Boom.
Crazy. It was like, I mean, the crazy part is nothing really changed. Like, it was like one of those things where you, the what next thing, where it's like, oh shit. I had all my favorite athlete in Philly. What's next? But like, that's where like, kind of like what AJ Brown said, and Jalen said after they won the Super Bowl, they're like, it didn't do anything for me. The whole journey is what did it for you. So like, getting up to that point, so like, put the Dawkins episode out. You know, I told my mom, they like did a little watch party at their house. Yeah, it was cool, and like
I love how supportive they are.
Oh, dude, that's my whole favorite thing. I'm so grateful for all my friends who show out, my parents who support me, and like everything like that. It's like what basically what like Jalen Hurts said. I keep going referring back to that because it's Super Bowl, but he said I had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. And it's like, it's true. It's like when you're, I was setting up one camera with a ring light and a lamp in the corner for lighting. Like no one was there to edit my videos. No one was there to get guests on for me. No one was there for any of that. So it's like, give yourself a little bit of grace and be like, yo, you did it, but like do it again. Yeah. So I always tell myself like, you did it, that's great, do it again. Mm-hmm. I guess like myself and to keep going, like to keep my journey going. But yeah, no, that was a pretty cool moment. And like, I got emotional on the podcast because I'm like, you kind of like become present for a moment and you're like, wait, I'm sitting at Xfinity Live talking to Brian Dawkins right now. Like, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I told him, I was like, so I got like emotional about it. And he said like, I was like, bro, because obviously when you get like in your journey, you feel like you struggle like a lot of stuff. Like I struggle with a lot of stuff, right? And I told him like, dude, I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. And he was like, Kev, he was like, I'm telling you right now, like all these people here, me being here, like you're supposed to be here. And when he said that, I was like, all right, like now I'm like ready to run through a brick wall. That was that whole thing. It didn't really change anything on the sense of like, I didn't get any I didn't get Eagles players hit me up to come on podcast. I didn't get like, obviously, like I've been grateful for what I have. Like, it changed my mentality.
Yeah.
It like kind of reassures.
Which is more important, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and like you're bullied in high school. You're bullied growing up. For wanting to do these things, and all of a sudden you have,
Oh, I feel that big time.
Span of a year, you're, doing a giveaway with Conor, and he's following you on Instagram and he knows who I am. Getting asked to go and like be there and announce that he's coming to Philly on a whim when he's coming by, and like doing drinks with him and like hanging out with the whole team and driving his security and drive. It's like, and then like the Dawkins thing and like all kind of like all that in like a span of like 2 years, a year and a half, and it truly does bring me back to just like when I said I wanted to do this, I said I wanted to start doing it, and like all the people that like would talk bad about me and all that stuff, and now that I work with their favorite UFC fighter, I did a podcast, I sat down for over an hour with their favorite athlete. Like it's one of those things that kind of just all brings it back, and like there's a lot of highlights throughout the podcast journey, but I think the most important thing is like when someone who like you grew up with or you're surrounded by says, yo, like I love, like they get it, like it's like inspiring, you know what I mean? Like when they like, but it's like a humbling thing where it's like, like this is like healing to somebody, and that's the only thing. Obviously, as empaths, we care about a lot of other people's feelings before ours most of the time, and like all I want to do is just create a world people can live in, whether it's through conversation or DJing. And like I really was in a place where like I told myself, because I used to live in LA. I did a semester. I did a semester there for college.
What did you go to college for?
I started off in entrepreneurship, and then I switched to media and production. Okay. So like, so
you liked all this kind of stuff.
I loved it. Yeah. I just never knew what the direction was, and I didn't know what it was going to be. And like, but I told myself, like, if I'm not in LA living in LA by the time I'm 25, I'm a failure. And
I've done that to myself.
Yeah, you like said.
And mine was at like 16.
Right. Like because it's just the way the world is now, is that everything's a highlight, and like you kind of put a lot of pressure on yourself, and like, and when you don't have that thing, you put a clock on yourself saying, I need to find that thing.
Yeah.
So I told myself that if I wasn't in LA when I was 25, I'm a failure. So graduated college in 2019, was gonna move out with my boy Ty in 2020. Obviously COVID hit, and then so that changed my trajectory of everything just in life. I had no gigs. Everything got canceled. No one was hiring because no one knew what the hell was going on. And then,
what a depressing time.
Yeah.
But it started your podcast.
Yeah.
So you had something to look forward to.
Yeah. It transformed my life.
Yes.
And obviously, I never want COVID, but like the whole period of like people, it was like a great reset.
I gotta tell you, COVID was the best thing that happened to me.
You're getting $600 a week playing Monopoly in your living room.
I felt good. I was like walking all the time. Like I didn't have to work. Like I was like, this is great. Singing in my house finally again. Like I was like, I'm refreshed.
Yeah, it does feel.
I know it was bad for some people, but for me personally, I loved COVID.
Yeah. There was a certain.
But there was no gigs and stuff, which also did. I think that messed me up a little bit as well. Like when you don't have. But you're used to going out and playing constantly.
You ask everyone. It changed everyone's life. It kind of made everyone have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like this, the whole journey. Like I said, I always just like. Because I remember when I said that I wanted, if I was in LA when I was 25, I'm a failure. I never was present in where I was. I never really loved where I was, because I didn't love myself, So like I told myself,
it's important to love yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, nothing's going to work out.
Yeah, it's everything. And like, maybe like there's things I can work on where it's like family or like personal life, but like, I don't know. I'm on like such a mission, and like, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. And like, I just want the people around me to like be proud of me, and like also like respect like what I do, and also like, I want to put my head down and be consistent and work so hard that like I put my head up and I'm in a whole different world. Like I always say like, like I want to like, there's like this saying, it was like, you mess around and daydream so much you end up in the stars, right? Like you just like think of like, you're just like you kind of just do it, and like whatever happens. Like never be attached to the outcome or anything. I'm never attached to the outcome. Like obviously I want everything to go well and be great, but like there's times where like I'm DJing for a few hundred people at Barstool for the players and Jeffrey Lurie's son, and then there's times where I'm doing a private event and there's 10 people there, but I'm making sure that like every single person is like, like you're creating a world where someone can live in. You're trying to make sure they can enjoy their time, and and all that. So yeah, I just try to really keep myself present, you know.
How was that when you were doing stuff with like the Eagles players and stuff? Where was that, Barstool?
Yeah,
or?
so we did like, it kind of just happened organically. Like I would do Barstool every now and then the manager asked if I could do a Sunday after one of the Eagles games. So I was already doing watch parties, and that's where like the Club 215 growth really set itself. I had to pivot and adjust.
So there was no more tailgates.
No.
It ended up being like watch parties.
It's turning to watch parties. So
cool.
because yeah, cause like
That's probably a lot better for you that you didn't have to foot someone in a parking lot.
I struggled so much internally with that. Yeah, well, I struggled so much internally with that because the grass got super strict. GLOT got super strict. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do end lot. I set up for the first tailgate, and then I have it all set up. I'm like, oh, this is great. I had my roommate build me a custom stage. I feel like $500 on a custom stage, huge. I DJ'd at Lucy's the night before. I got home with my U-Haul. I didn't sleep. I loaded up the U-Haul, me and my roommate Chris by myself. All I got, Seattle donated like 50 cases. I had all my DJ equipment. I had all this stuff set up. And I go and set it all up at 7 a.m. And the lot says, the one guy who has a vendetta or whatever was like, we're not doing this. I'm like, what? Like, what did I do? I was like, I'm not breaking any rules. He's like, you see all this? He's like, I don't want this. I'm like, all right. So that was like a really depressing day. And I was like, so I'm like, oh, like, what am I going to do now? Like, what is this? Because I always thought Club 215 was like just tailgates, but like, it's obviously been more than that. But so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in on these watch parties. I'm not even going to worry about before the game. I don't care about before the game anymore. It turned me off the tailgates entirely. I'm like, I'm just not dealing.
I don't blame you.
Like, I'm not dealing with it.
I love the watch parties. I think that's such a great idea.
Yeah, and it's been so much work, so much stress, so much energy and time. I just don't have it in me to do it. And
the watch parties at a place are more guaranteed. You're doing all this work, and then they tell you, "Oh no, you can't do it."
Yeah, you get to set up.
Then you got to tell all these people that they can't do it.
And you don't have to worry about every day if you're gonna get shut down or not. And like, because they were going left and right, shutting all these things down. So like, they made it like they wanted more traditional. I'm like, whatever, it's not me. I'm not gonna do a traditional tailgate. I can't go back from what I did last year. Like, there's no way you can do that.
Yeah.
And then we parted ways with Boombox. So so they're on their own journey doing their thing, but. So I told myself, all right, I'm gonna do the watch parties. We're going on the watch parties. Still did the same thing, the recap pictures, the content, like the Ange doing her thing, Malik doing her thing, me doing my thing, and we started doing like City Tap for the away games. We did Trojans for the home games. So we ended up doing that. I think Trojans ended up becoming the biggest watch party in the city this year. Like, I will comfortably say that. Like, and then Barstool asked me if I wanted to DJ the after parties. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Because we had these crazy Sunday fun days, like absolutely insane. Every single Sunday was like crazy. Like,
Sunday fun days are the best day.
Especially after an Eagles game, and they won like every game. Yeah. So it was like we were always out. So it's been like, it was so good to do that. So that took on a life of its own. And then obviously kept, growing the relationship with Barstool and Tradesman's and City Tap and all these places. And turns out the Eagles are going to the playoffs, and then they're in the NFC Championship, then they win the NFC Championship, and then the players want to go out and drink afterwards, and then you go and, because like Coop started coming out, Cooper DeJean and like Trevor Keegan and like Sidney Brown, so they started coming out when I'll be playing, and like I made sure that like his mom had a great time, that his girlfriend had a great time, that his friends had a great time. That's so nice. So I would, because like they would he would ask for Flow Rida. I'm like, dude, I got 20 edits of Flow Rida, and I made sure I did the best that I could for everyone there, and like.
Wait, they put the thing up in their head.
Yeah, with the phone.
I'm sorry. That irks my soul.
No, but it's funny though, because like it's like because they're sitting there enjoying themselves, and like, but they're respectful.
I'm talking about like
I know
like the kids doing it.
Oh yeah, no, that's a whole different. That's a whole other podcast. I've trust me, I have my gripes with that, but yeah. So I started to like build like a relationship with like Trevor Keegan. Will come up and like he would come up and like try to DJ with me. He'll throw me requests. Like we just did our thing. And that's been like for a few weeks, like during like the playoffs, and then Coop like would ask for me personally to play. So the GM's like, I mean, you've already been playing, we're gonna run it.
Yeah,
so
especially if he's asking.
Yeah. So then like I'm doing like the parlay room after the Eagles won the NFC Championship, and GM was like, hey Kev, by the way, Jeffrey Lurie's son's coming, the owner of the Phillies' son's coming, Coop, Trevor, Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, like they're all coming. They're getting a table next to you. I was like, okay, say no more. So we just did our thing, had fun, and that's where the whole world, creating the world someone can live in. You make sure, like I said, like I make sure I play in the end of September for his mom. I make sure I play Flow Rida for him. I make sure I play hip hop.
That is nice. He brings his mom too.
Oh, and mom and dad, yeah, family, yeah. So
He seems like, I don't know him, obviously, but he seems like a really cool guy. Like seeing like all like the different like posts about him and things like that. He seems like he's very down to earth.
All the guys are.
Yeah.
They're super humble. They love the city. They're just
Which I love.
They love it. Yeah.
I love how much they love Philly.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what makes a difference. Like when you're playing for a city you actually really love.
It's just such a positive, good energy to have. And like, you know, and like I said, I was super grateful for that, you know, and I was ready for the opportunity. I made sure I made the most of it, made sure I had fun. It was just such a great energy that like you can't duplicate. Like, especially with them going to the Super Bowl, them winning. Now I'm doing a parade party with Brand Flakes, and you know, the players come at night, like Saquon's there at night. Like, it was just like such a great energy in the city. And like, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, it was on all of it. The whole season was really cool to be a part of, and like, you know, being able to transition, you know, Club 215 to watch parties and still be able to like grow and excel, like, you know. So I
think that's where it's at.
Yeah, it's all about like just transitioning. Like, you're gonna go through stuff in life. Like, Dunphy left Club 215 because he had family, he had something he had to take care of. So for his personal reasons, he had to leave. So I'm like, okay, so now he left. Now I'm like, now what do I got to do? Like, I got to make a decision here. Like, you know, you got to pivot, and like, so that's what that's life. That's everyone. Like, pivot. You have to pivot, and you just got to keep going and remain consistent. And like, but yeah, kind of like leading back to what I said before is like the number one thing with all this that I'm very grateful for is that I try to make sure that I just stay present.
Yeah.
And take it all in, and also just like remember that a year ago I was DJing a dive bar, doing after parties. I would set up all my own equipment, like and I tried to create my own lane. I tried to create my, you know, opportunities. You know what I mean? So I have it on my shorts right here.
Let's see.
So don't wait for your opportunities. Create it now. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm very like set on that because, like, at the end of the day, like no one's.
You can't wait for the opportunity, or it's just gonna fly by. Because you know how many other people are trying to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't go out there and do it,
you have to, because at the end of the day,
and with social media, it's so much easier for people to do things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's easier to market, it's easier to promote. But it's like the number one thing that I realized is that no one gives a shit. No, like genuinely, like no one cares that if I start a Club 215 or not. But then you do it enough and you're consistent enough that they do care. But it's not a unit like me then now. Like, how should they have known? How should they have ever known what you were going to do? But you made it that, and you create that value, and that's my whole thing too. Is that I try to make sure that I'm a value add. Like, I don't ever think of myself as anything more important than the janitor. It's basically the oldest saying in the book, but like I really just try to genuinely show up and provide value for whatever I'm doing, because then that naturally leads to growth. It leads to, you know, being able to create a world someone can live in, you know. So
I love what you said, that you were like, yeah, I played for, you know, the Eagles players, but then like I'm then playing for like a party with 10 people and I'm literally giving the same energy.
Yeah.
Because the worst is like if someone hires you and you're just like, this is nothing, I'm just putting a mix on, I'm done.
Yeah. Well,
no, like you're trying to give everyone that same, you know,
Yeah.
this is me, this is what you, I'm doing it for everybody.
Right. And also, because too, like, you don't know who they know. You don't even know who they are. Like,
exactly.
like I booked weddings from DJing Nightlife with, you know, like whatever. Like, so it's just one of those things where, you know, I always remember where I was and where I started. I never want to go back. So I will always make sure that, you know, like, so my Jason Weiss, who DJs, he's in the city, whatever, he's the man. So he told me, he said, the people you meet up on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, who am I to be an a-hole to the server over there? That could be the owner's son.
DJ 9, I love that he helped you out in the very beginning.
I think he did it without even realizing it. Like, him coming on the podcast was awesome too.
I just think it was like, I knew of DJ 9 when I was, how old? 12.
Yeah.
Because my brother Frankie and Philip, like, they used to DJ at Club 27 and all that stuff, like, long time ago. He's been DJing for years.
Yeah.
You just starting out, like, he didn't have to tell you
anything. I was DJing on a laptop.
He didn't have to tell you nothing.
Yeah.
And he was just like, listen, this is what you got to do. Like, giving you, you know, that encouragement. Not say, like, listen, don't do it. No, he was actually trying to help you out.
I don't even think Eddie realized it. You just told me you got to make a decision, like what you feel you want to do.
That's like so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I've been blessed to meet a lot of really great people and like build like real good relationships with not like just people in general. Like, that's.
I think that every single person you meet, you learn something new.
Absolutely.
Whether that be a good thing, bad thing, you're learning something from somebody.
Yeah. And one thing that's super unconventional for DJs, I take requests. I encourage them. I say, what do you guys want? Like, what do you want?
Yeah, my brother Philip, on the other hand, don't talk to him.
Nah. Yeah, nah. It's but yeah, right. Yeah, everyone has different styles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I make sure, because I live for the moments where like the one girl who asked for a Charlie XCX song, I look for her when I play it, and I see her and her friends
go. The reaction, I love that.
Yeah, and it also creates growth naturally, because like, oh, you don't oh, I didn't even think of that song, or I don't have that song. Like, I always try to take advice and feedback from people, because like, who am I?
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it just naturally creates value. There's nothing that can go wrong within reason. Like, I've been asked to play like Elton John at a Barstool, and that's just, I can't. Like, if I don't have an edit, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But there's compromises, there's workarounds, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always try to take feedback, and I always try to listen to people when they say things, no matter who you are, just because you just never know, and you could learn something from them, you know.
What events this year are you looking forward to?
Let's see. So I'm talking to Bud Light about next Eagle season, which could be really cool. But for this year, honestly, there's nothing that comes off the top of my head.
Do you have any events coming up?
So I'm doing like Smooth Daily Load, which will be fun.
I know that those are crazy.
Yeah, those are a good time. Yeah, shout out to him. He's awesome. I love him to death. That's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for my vacation. I'm going to Nashville first week of March.
Nice.
I don't know when this drops, but I'm excited for vacation. And honestly, there's nothing like too particular. Like, I have a bunch of weddings this year. Like, there's nothing really particular. I'm just excited that I get to wake up and do what I love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's such a
I
cliche.
think that's the most important thing.
It's a cliche answer, but it really is. Like, I get to do this for a living. Like,
What are you going to Nashville for? Just to vacation?
just to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to go.
I hated Nashville.
Yeah. Oh man, that's.
Okay, I went to record music, and I was only there to record, so I didn't get to experience it good. Then I went for a bachelorette party. It was horrible.
Bachelorettes are nuts.
Yep. They didn't do anything that I thought we didn't do.
You weren't getting on the float. You weren't gonna get on the.
We did nothing.
Nothing.
I was so mad. I'm like, I spent money to I saw people on like in the streets on like a card, and I'm like, why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, you didn't experience.
Why aren't we doing this?
Nashville is like the Bachelor.
You let me know.
I will.
How your Nashville experience is.
I will. I will.
I'm hoping it's a lot better than mine.
Yeah, I definitely will.
I'm sure me talking about this and the girl who's bachelor party.
She's like, that's crazy.
She's like, you didn't have a good time.
Yeah. Nah. I did doing Tuesday.
There's a Mexican spot that's really good.
Yeah.
It's right on the strip. I will get you the name.
Yeah.
I went there twice.
Yeah.
Great margaritas, chips and salsa. I loved that whole vibe in there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There was a couple other spots in there that I liked. Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean?
Yeah, that was cool. There was like a really good band that was in another spot that I liked.
Yeah, Nashville is sick.
There is a spot. I need to get the names. They played like all like, house music, and it was on like a deck area.
Okay, the roof, yeah.
I don't know where that's at, but I like that part because I like that type of music.
The part that people go for.
Yeah, I like that type of music. I'm not like the country girl.
Right.
That's not my vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all genres of music, but for me to dance, that's the stuff for me. I'm like, where is that place at?
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of getting back, like my whole thing is like my goal, I just want to be consistent. I'm excited for, just like I said, just staying consistent and just keep doing my thing, keep growing, and just kind of see where it all leads to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to do an icebreaker round for you.
Let's do it.
Because we never met each other.
Yeah.
This is like our first like actual conversation.
Yeah, I'd say we're friends at this point.
Yeah. Listen, I'm an easy person to be friends with, and it seems like you too. I want to get to know you a little better. I'm so used to interviewing people that I've either had a conversation with or from South Philly.
Yeah.
I don't even know where you're from.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Northeast Philly.
Northeast Philly.
Yeah, I grew up in Northeast. Yeah, I went to Archers Brown High School. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So I played soccer, and their field was like beautiful.
Yeah. Newman
Garati did not have a field.
Oh, no. Yeah. You went to Newman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Newman Garati did not have a field. So here we are in our bus, and we go out. I'm like, wow, look at that.
Yeah, right. Grass.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Newman spanked us in basketball every year. They were so good.
I'm sorry.
Nah, they were.
Had no chance.
Them and Roman were so good.
How old are you?
28.
Okay, so you're like a couple years younger than me. So yeah, they were still really good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always good.
Yeah.
I love my high school. That was that was my junior and senior year were my favorite years ever. My freshman and sophomore year were terrible. I was like, nope. That's when like the bullies, all that stuff. When I first started singing, you know, when you were talking about that, it reminded me of it. What was your fondest childhood memory?
Fondest childhood memory. I'll give you a. In regards to childhood memory, I mean, I had a great childhood, but I would say, honestly, this is like the Christmas Eves, like Christmas Eve. Like that's like Christmas Eve at my grandmom's house. Like that was always the best experience. Like I'm a huge Christmas guy. Like I love family. I love being with family, and like we have a lot of little cousins on my mom's side. So like Christmas Eve is like just pure nostalgia for me. Like I like. Going there, just like it's her the way she's a house in Mayfair, so you get around and how it is, right? It's like a regular like Rome in Mayfair, you know, with this like the low lights, the Christmas. You had like the Santa picture with the brick wall, just like the Christmas movies that are on the TV. Like I love like the Christmas Eve and like the knowing that the next morning I something I asked for, like stuff like that. I like that I would say the family stuff with like. Being with my family on Christmas Eve is like everything for me.
Family's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe that if like my brothers, like my mom, my dad, like they're like my core people. Like if I didn't have like my brother Phil, I would be nothing. Yeah. I say it all the time. Sorry, Frankie. But
Phil. I mean, there's definitely people that you wouldn't be nothing, but you would definitely have a different route of your journey, like like
now are you Italian or no?
I'm a little Italian. Ivan is so we're Italian Irish.
What do you call it?
Ivan is my mom's maiden name's last name. Like that's
I thought you were calling like Italian and Irish like something
new. No. Ivan is my mom's like side of the family's last name. They own Ivan Produce.
Did you do the Seven Fishes or no?
No, not that. I'm not that Italian, but
we were very big with the Seven Fishes, if you can't tell.
Oh yeah. You guys are Italian, but no, yeah. So, we're Italian.
Yeah, but no, the Christmas Eve, I get that. Christmas is a big thing for me as well. Yeah. That's why I came out with the Christmas song. I needed to throw a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
Who inspired you most in your life? And it could be anything, like. Anything that you've done to inspire you to keep going every single day?
I would say my dad for sure. Obviously my mom. I mean, my mom and my dad. Like my mom is like the hardest. She's my twin. Like she's the hardest worker I know. You know, I remember like when they had us when we were when she was 21. Mom had me and my twin. I'm a twin. So
you're a twin?
Yeah, I have a twin sister. Yeah. So
no way.
Yeah. So my mom had us when they were 21. She was playing basketball at the time. You know, just coming from a torn ACL. Like, you know.
Your mom was a basketball player too.
Yeah, my mom and dad would both play basketball. That's how they met.
No way.
Yeah.
And you played basketball.
And I mean, as you could tell, that's why. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Did your sister play basketball?
Yeah, we're a basketball family. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'd say my mom and dad. So like. My mom, like, she was doing the night shift at her hospital, and she would sleep all day, and she would work all night, and my dad obviously worked to provide as well, and, like, my mom just, like, works so damn hard, and, like, now she does, like, nursing, but now she's, like, she's a like, director of nursing. Like, she worked her way all the way up.
Wow.
Now she's getting, like, a corporate job, like a real corporate enterprise job above the hospital, which is, like, they're creating a role for her.
That's amazing.
Like I'm so inspired by her every day.
What a goal getter!
Oh my God, she crushes it. And then my dad too. Like, yeah. So like,
your parents.
Yeah, my dad. So he, I'll say that he. So I'm trying to find a way to say it. It's like when we're growing up, like I found out, like if people, it's not like everyone knows, but like if you were watching this point, like you deserve to know a little bit. Yeah, so like my mom and dad like didn't have like the most easiest relationship to start. So like I'll say it like this. When my mom approached my dad saying she was pregnant with twins, he chose us. So he chose us when he had no reason to, right? And it changed the entire outcome of me and my sister's life. So like he is the most inspiring person because he chose us, you know, without knowing what the outcome was going to be. You know, choose someone that isn't initially yours, and then you make them yours, and you say they're yours, and you put that out in the universe, and you take on a responsibility you didn't know you think you were going to have to. So I say my mom and dad.
Amazing.
Yeah. So my dad, my mom, and like I said, my dad's he's like a tough love kind of guy, but he always shows love by his actions. He doesn't say it that much. Like we don't hug, like we're dudes. We don't hug, but like, you know, he'll call and ask, like, yo, how was Sunday with the players? And like, when I FaceTime Dawkins after the podcast, my dad was at the grocery store talking to Dawkins, like you know when he loves you, and he loves me more than anything because he provides, and he always asks about how I'm doing, and like,
which is so important.
Yeah, he's not like an empath softy like I am, but so my mom and dad for sure.
You are a twin.
I'm a twin, yes. Haley is the homie too. I love her to death. Yeah, she's
How is that being a twin?
It's cool.
So my brother has twins. I always wish I was a twin because I'm like, you always have that person. You feel each other's feelings.
Sometimes, I mean, there's sometimes, like we're fraternal, but like still, it's like we still have that sibling thing, and like, I think the one thing is that like,
you have a best friend for life.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck. I don't want to get emotional now. We've gotten really close past few years. Like, obviously, when you're growing up, like, you're still figuring your lives out. So it's like, you know, you kind of have different friend groups. You have different this and that.
I feel like in the very beginning, you're super close. And then it's like that age where it's like,
it's because
you're the boy, she's the girl, like, you're doing your own
opposites,
thing.
yeah.
And then everyone comes
where you grow up
together.
and you come back together, and that's like we're at the point now where we're coming back together.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and she comes out to all my stuff, supports.
That's so great.
I make sure she has the best seat in the house. She doesn't pay for a thing. I make sure she's taken care of, and that's like a blessing that I get to do that as well. And you know, I get to show her, hey, listen, like your brother works hard. This is what you know. You could do things like that. So
awesome.
It's just great. Like I'm just so thankful and like to have my mom, my dad, my sister.
What a fun fact.
Yeah.
You're a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin. Yeah. Play basketball.
I was not expecting that at all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's low key. So.
Yeah. Well, you seem low key, but also like a life of the party.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to be, but yeah, like it's so funny because she's like she's just more she's like I said, just polar opposite.
Yeah.
Like she's very like she can be quiet, like you know when she's in her shell, like you know she's not it's great. It's just great.
I love that. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Okay. 3 words. I would say.
Sorry, I stopped you.
No, it's. I'm like, what way to? It's. Like, I would say that.
Hardworking.
I would say hardworking. Resilient, and like thankful, like genuinely, like, and I'm not even like just saying. I really do like. I take all of it to heart, no matter what. Like I mean, with despite anything, like because I have like a really weird like bad like chip on my shoulder that like I always want to I want to be the best at what I am doing. So like throughout that journey, I've just learned I really need to be thankful for everything that I do have because it can go away. And I remember I was at really dark times in my life where like I just was like I'm in nothing. Like you just tell yourself you're nothing. Yeah. So I always try to remain thankful. No matter what, I always try to keep going. So I try to be resilient. Like so, matter like pivoting from tailgates, right? Like you get like depressed because you can't throw on the parties that you want to throw on, and you know and I just try to work hard. I just try to remain consistent. Like that's pretty much it. Like, but I'm like, I would say that like I just try to work hard. And just be thankful for everyone I meet along the way and all the opportunities I get along the way because I could be working a job that I hate.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like that's like literally. I try to keep it simple because I used to not be like that. I used to be like, oh, I need to be here. I need to be doing this or that. And then when I just try to stay present. I try to stay in the moment and to stay thankful for it. And this, this whatever comes my way, it just comes my way. You know.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Anywhere in the world. That's a good question, actually. Iceland.
Iceland. It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
My friends got engaged there, Bonnie
really?
and Bridget. Yes.
That's sick. Yeah, I always wanted to go check that place out. I always feel like it'd be so nice. There's a lot of places I want to go. That's a goal of mine to start traveling this year. Yeah, I have.
Maybe you can travel and find a place to DJ when you're out there.
I mean, that's it, right? It's a dream. That's
amazing.
The goal is
do it.
Yeah, the goal is to expand. That's what I'm working on this year. The goal is to definitely expand. Yeah, so I have like
maybe when you're out in Nashville, you can find a DJ job for one night.
yeah. So my goal is to. I mean, my goal isn't even to play. It's to. I have a few people that I'm going to meet out there. That I think can help lift my career up a little bit more. So I want to just go. And but listen, I'm gonna fly to you to meet you. Like I'm not just gonna hit you up on Instagram. I'm gonna fly to you. We're gonna grab dinner.
Well, I think it's so important for like conversations face to face.
Yeah.
So many people are so stuck on their phones. Like I love speaking to someone face to face.
Yeah.
I don't even like the texting thing. I'd rather pick up the phone and talk to you on the phone or FaceTime.
Yeah.
I need to see someone's reaction.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's also there's something.
Or like hear their voice. Like I can't. The whole texting thing. Like sometimes don't get the same energy off of it.
And there's also something really important about being face to face with somebody. Like you know what I mean. Like me going to meet these people like face to face. They know okay, like this kid really wants to do it.
Yeah.
Who knows? They might give you a shot. They may not. But at the end of the day, like you're putting the effort forward, and whatever happens. You know what I mean? So
the goal is to travel.
Man.
Okay. All right. Rate the Philly sports team. So Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. So
favorites?
Yeah. So like, who's your least favorite out of the four?
I would say not because of for any specific reason. I just don't watch hockey that much. Yeah. So I would say Eagles are my top. I'm a huge basketball guy. Sixers, I mean, they're hanging in there right now. It's ebbs and flows, right? Ebbs and flows, right? We did it. We had this with the Eagles too. So, and the Phillies. So it's like Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I'm the same. We used to have season tickets for the Sixers. We were at like all the games.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing like watching like the Eagles play. Like the energy.
Football is just such a great sport. Yeah. Like it's the once a week. You know what I mean? It's like every game matters, and especially when your team's good. Like it's just an exciting atmosphere to be around for sure.
Your biggest pet peeve.
Biggest pet peeve. Okay, I actually thought about this the other day. My biggest pet peeve, I would say, entitlement. Entitlement.
Okay, why is that?
Because at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's true. That's the first thing that came to my mind. There's a lot of things, but my biggest pet peeve is entitlement because like it sounds so like deep. We really are just all on this big rock, and we're all gonna die one day, and we're all gonna. So we might as well just. It's not trying to be sad. It's just more so like, why don't you just do what you love, enjoy it, and just don't be an asshole. It's just entitlement. Like people who think they deserve things. Like you don't deserve anything. Like you could be replaced tomorrow. Like think about a sports player. Like you think you're the shit. Okay, cool. Get traded tomorrow. Like you can get there's gonna be a million of yous that can get drafted. Like it's I don't know. So entitlement is definitely the first thing that came to my head.
You're giving the truth juice.
Yeah, dude. Well, because I've seen it all, dude. Like I've seen it all when it comes to that stuff. Like people who think they deserve things just because you didn't, like, as we're talking about DJing, like you played a cool few spots, cool. Like how about you go set up equipment and drive 3 hours to go, and you know what I mean? It's like there's like I don't like the death of ego is the only way to really be successful, especially in this business. Yes. Like just because at the end of the day, I could be replaced tomorrow. Like there could have been anyone put in that position to DJ for the players. They probably would have done a good job, but I was fortunate enough to be the one there. So I'm not anyone special in that regards, but like by having these opportunities and staying thankful, you continue to get those opportunities, and then you can make something of yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
agree.
Entitlement. Yeah.
Cracking up. You were like, yeah, we're going to die tomorrow. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, no, you never know. No, but it's more so
we could, though.
If you think of it this way, like we done, like, let's say, you have the biggest, for example, having Dawkins on my podcast, right? Cool. Now what?
Yeah.
That's why I say, do it again.
Yeah.
Like, do it. Okay, cool. You had Dawkins on the podcast. Do it again. You know what I mean? So, and then like at the end of the day, we're all on this big rock, and it's, I'm not trying to get deep. Like, does it really mean anything? Does any of this really mean anything? Like, at the end of the day, we're just trying to take the time we have on this earth to make an impact. And because watching videos on TikTok of people opening Christmas gifts or military homecomings, like that makes you feel good.
Literally cry.
So why? It's like, why not just try to be?
I cry over strangers.
Dude, I'll tell you, I'm an empath to AT. So like,
empath.
Yeah, why not?
Empath life.
Yeah, but why not just try not to be the best person you can? Why not just try to be a positive impact? And that's it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Your favorite thing to drink when you're out?
It's been Vodka Club recently. Yeah, just because I had the tea light phase. I've had the shots and all that. So give me a Vodka Club.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I would throw up with like the sight of a tea light.
Yeah, I used to tee off. I used to like slam them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like
Tea bombs. That's what that's what my mom was club calls them.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Your best hangover meal?
Oh wow. Best hangover meal would definitely be I've been hungover quite a few times the past few weeks, so I'm trying to think
I can only imagine.
Fat Chipotle, Chipotle's been great. I've been doing all right, Eggs Benedict at Green Eggs Cafe.
Love green eggs.
Yeah, so good. So their bacon is crazy. I remember eating the one piece of bacon when I was hungover. I was like, wow.
And the best meal
You
ever.
just like take a moment. You're like, wait, this is nuts. Like, yeah. So I'll say Eggs Benedict.
You need something greasy.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say Eggs Benedict from Green Eggs Cafe.
So what are some of your summer plans?
Summer plans. So my parents have a shore house in Seattle, so I want to be down the shore. I want to DJ down the shore. Yeah, kind of just enjoy myself a bit more. Go down the shore. Just be in the sun, and then
I love the summer.
Yeah, try to take some vacations. Obviously summer gets nuts though. For as DJs, it gets nuts because you get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, my plans to DJ down the shore a bit. Go to my Seattle house with my family, spend some time with my family by the lake. Yeah, be with my dog Maxie.
Oh, what kind
have
of
a mini golden doodle.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, he's a stud. Yeah, we named him Maxie after Tyrese Maxey from the Sixers.
Love that.
Yeah, big Sixers family. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just to be down the shore. Yeah, and see what kind of comes of it. Yeah.
That's nice. What are your favorite spots in Seattle?
So I would do like shenanigans on Thursdays for dollar drinks, which is nuts. I like dollar drinks is crazy. Yeah, I like. I mean, there's not too many spots. I'm trying to check out North Jersey more. But I would say I like going to the OD with my family. OD, is
even though that's not my favorite.
Yeah, it's more of like a tradition thing. I like being at the OD with my family, be on the beach. Yeah, I'd say that.
I love being like in the sun. Like the summer's my favorite.
It's just so healing. Listen, Philly got really lucky with the Eagles because usually February is like a dead month. Like there's just nothing going on.
Which is when I get the most depressed. I have sad disorder. I swear.
Yeah, I think we all.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I used to have a lamp that you.
Oh my God, you're like sad.
Oh yeah, like super sad. I'm like, yeah, give me the lamp. I need all the rays that I can get.
That's so funny. Take it while you can. I mean, this for February is it's definitely like the more.
No, I feel like all the positivity really got me through it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the Eagles and everything, and yeah, it's just been nuts.
Yeah, February is usually dead. That's why I started my podcast in February because I'm like, yeah, we need to get me going.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
5 or 10 years. So I usually try to just, like I said, I'll give you like an actual answer. But
I want a real
actual
answer.
So my real answer, my whole thing is I don't know, and I don't really want to know. My whole thing I tell myself is that just put your head down, stay consistent, work. And like I said, you daydream for a long enough time, you're gonna end up in the stars, right? So like I just tell myself, just stay consistent. Just keep doing your thing because you don't know. Like I didn't know I was gonna be because like I said before, perfect example right here. Like I wasn't doing anything for pregame, right, for the Eagles. All of a sudden, Bud Light hits me up and wants me to do parties at Xfinity. So now I'm doing like these Xfinity Live Bud Light parties. Like I'm building a relationship with Bud Light, and then just like you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like I didn't expect to be in the position I am now, just with everything and like. Like I said, I'm not there yet. I'm not halfway anywhere where I want to be yet, but I can say that I am like proud of how far I have come so far. But 5 to 10 years, I mean, I would love to be traveling more, like playing music and like throwing like the best parties I can. Maybe be a business owner. I don't like with like a venue or something like that. Like I don't know. So my goal is to just stay consistent now and kind of just see what happens. You know what I mean? I don't like, but like the goal is to
do something you love.
Yeah, just do what I love, and I love nightlife. I love DJing. I love playing. I love throwing parties and events. So like, if that is something that leads into something like that, then in a bigger role, then sure, But right now, I'm just really trying to enjoy the journey and stay present. Because like I said, like I've been there before, where I've tried to think about where I am in 5 to 10 years, but like then you don't put action into right now to get you there. So I just tell myself if I could just still work hard and just see what happens. Like this was a great year. You know, this past like 6 months and year has been great, and I'm very thankful for it. But who knows what's next? I don't want to put a ceiling on myself, so we'll see. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's like
that
I said,
was like an amazing answer.
I appreciate that. It's like I said, it's the real answer. Like because, like I said, you just don't know. Like you don't know where your life's gonna be. You don't know what's gonna happen in your life. You just don't know. So, I'm just trying to stay consistent and be sure I'm treating my people right, taking care of them, and whatever happens, happens. You know.
Wow.
So we'll see.
You're teaching me things today.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
So, listen, we're almost done.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking so much
I'm having
time.
a great time.
So am I. I'm enjoying our conversation.
Yeah.
I love this.
This is my recovery day, so I'm good.
Your recovery day.
It's been a crazy weekend.
Give us one piece of advice for the listeners out there. Like your most favorite you gave a lot of advice today. You've given me so much advice.
I appreciate that. I will say this, and it's funny you ask because I always slip this into my podcast. My grandmom taught me that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's all about perspective. When you change what you look at and change how you see it, everything around you changes. Your perception is everything. So my advice would just to be like, if you're in a place now where like you're not like happy with yourself, or you're somewhere where like you're just starting out, whether it's DJing, 'cause I've had DJs who just start asking me all these things. Like my advice is to just like, obviously build relationships, network. Your network is your net worth. That's everything. But also embrace the fact that like you are on your own journey. Like it's no one else's, because I put a timer on myself all the time. I'm looking up like how old people are. Oh, he's doing this at this age. Like, I shouldn't, you get caught in comparing yourself.
Yeah.
And I just think perception.
I still do it.
We all do it. We're all guilty of it. No, I think perception is everything. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you're someone who's just starting out in their journey or whatever you're doing, it's like, all right, listen, I get to start here, but I get to learn all these things along the way, and I get to do all, because like the journey and the chase is the best part about everything that we do. Like if you, like I said, if you even look at like what AJ Brown said after he won the Super Bowl, on the biggest stage, the most watched Super Bowl of all time, with the biggest ass whooping of the Chiefs that I've ever seen. He's still like, dude, it didn't do anything for me. Like even Jalen Hurts said the same night. He's like, dude, like the pain that I felt of losing outweighed winning. Mm-hmm. It's like you're always gonna be having that chase, so you might as well just like embrace it and understand that like you're only gonna get what you put into it, and you don't know what's happening behind the scenes, what's being said about you, good or bad. But like, let's say, you've been working your butt off and you think you're not seeing progress. You don't know that tomorrow could be the day you get a phone call to do something. So embrace whatever journey you're on, and like, just remain present and enjoy it, because
I think I had a therapy lesson today.
Dude, yeah, this is therapy for me. So
Thank you so much for my therapy session.
No, you got it.
I'm so glad that I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like, actually, no, I'm kidding.
My insurance did not need to cover this.
No, nah. Listen, yeah, that maybe I become a therapist, but
maybe,
maybe
mine. I need one.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, like I said, at the end of the day, like we're all just trying to be somebody, and it feels better to put good out, because it all comes back one way or another. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I appreciate you asking.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show. I feel like I made a friend today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Felicia Punzo, get out of here. You got my homie right here.
Yes, I love it. This made me happy. Yeah. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media. I know you have a lot of different pages.
Yeah. You could do my Kev Nichols _ on Instagram, club.215 on Instagram. Instagram, YouTube is Kev Nichols as well. So pretty much it.
Love it. Make sure you check out Kev on all his social media platforms. See him DJing somewhere. Club 215 that I need to check out myself. Yeah. Okay. The Loft Podcast. Make sure you check him out. Like I said, I feel like I got a therapy session today. I enjoyed myself so much. I hope that you enjoyed watching at home. Thank you so much for checking out the City Buzz. Make sure that you check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iHeart. And remember, keep your eyes on the city and your ears on the buzz.
I like it. Let's go. Hell yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.